I'm sorry, you're saying there's a multiverse?
What is good, guys? This is James Hernandez. How you all doing? Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you guys had a great Easter. And welcome to a brand new video. And for today, I'm going to be reviewing a movie. And it's not just an ordinary movie, but I'm also going to review one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. And that is Watchmen. Now, Watchmen is a R-rated superhero movie that came out in 2009. It was based on the graphic novel by Alan Moore, and the movie is directed by Zack Snyder, who directed many movies like the remake of Dawn of the Dead, 300, this film, Legend of the Guardians, The Owls of Gahoo, Sucker Punch, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, as well as Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I'm ready to review this movie, and I'm going to share my thoughts. So now, when I first saw this movie, when I first heard that there was an R-rated superhero movie, I actually was very interested to watch this because this was the very first R-rated comic book movie I watched before I saw any other comic book movies that has an R rating. So I'm going to sharing my thoughts on this, and I'm going to talk about the story, the action scenes, the characters, some spoilers, and then I'm going to share my final thoughts of what do I think of this film. So without further ado, let's get started. So for those who know what the movie is about, it's about a team of retired superheroes that lives in the year of the 80s, where they're investigating the murder of the former superhero named the Comedian, played by Jeffrey D. Morgan, and they're trying to find clues of who's responsible for the Comedian's death. So that's the story about the movie. If you guys have read the graphic novel, then you know exactly it follows, the movie, even though the graphic novel was made first before the movie was released. So let's talk about the characters. Now, the characters in the movie is what really makes me enjoy this film because there's many characters that I really love, and they really hold a special place in my heart, like Rorschach, Silk Spectre, Night Owl, Dr. Manhattan, the Comedian, and Ozymandias. They're all really good, very well developed characters, and I thought they really have really good character developments. They have really good stories behind them, and they have really cool action sequences. And so far. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about the visuals and the action. Now, the action and the visuals in this movie, I thought it was amazing. I thought, I have never seen anything like this from a superhero movie. Even though the other superhero movies are PG-13, they can be brutal, but they're not over-the-top violent. This one is like a violent superhero movie, along with the other ones like Deadpool and Kick-Ass and even Logan. But this movie actually really took my surprise because when these characters actually fight thugs and fight prisoners and fight a bunch of bad guys, they really can break someone's teeth, and then there was blood and there was violence everywhere. It turns out that it really shows that this movie is definitely not for kids. I really do think that this movie really does hold up, even for a movie that came out back in 2009 when Zack Snyder directed this film. I really enjoyed this movie. I loved it so much. The action scenes, I think they're very well choreographed. The story really does stay true to the source material. The characters are great. The acting was great, like Jackie Earle Haley, Milan Ackerman, Patrick Wilson, Billy Crudup, Jeffrey D. Morgan, and Matthew Good. They're all really good in this movie. And the direction, I thought it was very good. Zack Snyder knows what he was doing with this movie before he directed the other films after Watchmen. One of the side things I really want to talk about is the controversy backstory of the Comedian, of how this become one of the worst superheroes in the Watchmen team. He did all these terrible things, especially what he just did to Sally Jupiter, the original Silk Spectre. The one scene from the movie where I was very surprised and it really caught my attention was the love scene between Night Owl and Silk Spectre. It was one of the most one of the most realistic chemistries and romantic moments I have ever seen in a superhero movie. And you can definitely tell that Silk Spectre really does love Night Owl, and Night Owl really loves Silk Spectre. I really enjoy their chemistry, and I would have liked to see their future after the movie, which we actually do got to see them in the end of Doomsday Clock, which is a comic book sequel to Watchmen. But I would have loved to see them like explore more of their future, of their romance. The other scenes I really do enjoy from the movie is when Rorschach fights the cops when he was framed for murder, and when he kills the murderer of the little girl, just by chopping his head with this meat knife thing, pretty much like in the graphic novel, where he just pretty much like burns the guy to death just by setting the whole house on fire. So yeah, like I think that the whole movie itself, I think it was very spectacular. It's one of the most realistic and one of the most like famous superhero movies where it does stay true to the source material. It knows exactly what it's doing, and I'm really happy that Zack Snyder directed this film. And I think the cast did a great job in the movie, especially Jackie Earle Haley as Rorschach. I thought he was incredible. I actually did cosplay as Rorschach when I went to New York Comic Con in the Big Apple, and I thought I looked pretty good, and I'm thinking of like cosplaying as Rorschach again if I go to Comic-Con this year, because Watchmen, in my opinion, is easily one of the most underrated superhero movies, which I think people really need to go watch. I think people should talk about it more, get into more, and and it's one of those R-rated superhero movies where it knows exactly what it's doing with the source material, it's staying true and staying loyal to it. So now let's talk about some spoilers. So it turns out that the person that killed the comedian was other than Ozymandias. Yep. If you also read the graphic novel, he is the one that killed the comedian, and then Rorschach, Night Owl, Dr. Manhattan, and Silk Spectre have to go after him to confront him of what he did was bad, and they're trying to stop him. And then Adrian already planned out the nuclear bomb things, and then Dr. Manhattan and the rest agrees with him that they had to follow Adrian's plan. Well, that's all except for Rorschach, who was like, no, keep your own secrets, I'm out of here. And then Dr. Manhattan gets in front of Rorschach when he was about to head to New York, and then he just obliterated him. Honestly, it really sucks that Rorschach dies, because he was like the best character in the movie, and I really love Rorschach. I thought he was so cool. And then the movie ends with Dr. Manhattan leaving, Rorschach is dead, Night Owl and Silk Spectre left Adrian, and then they head to New York, and then they start to become a romantic couple. And then we saw Rorschach's journal, where he was like, Rorschach's journal, October 12th, 1985. Tonight, a comedian died in New York. And that's pretty much the end of the film. So that was my review for Watchmen. I still think it's a really good superhero movie. I think people really need to appreciate this movie more. It's one of those superhero movies where it knows what it's doing with the source material and staying true to the comic book. And we also got like I said, the sequel called Doomsday Clock, which I would have loved to see be made on the big screen. And there was also the Before Watchmen comics, which is a prequel. And I would have loved to see an adult animated TV series based on Watchmen. You can also make it based on the Before Watchmen comics, and you can have one of the cast reprising their roles of how did they become one of the most overpowered superheroes and one of the most skilled heroes in our universe. So yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. This is definitely one of my favorite Zack Snyder movies, along with Legend of the Guardians. If you guys have not seen Watchmen, go check it out. I highly recommend it. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give Watchmen a strong 9 out of 10. I love this movie to death. This is a superhero movie that I can actually watch over and over and over and over again, and I will not get tired of. So if you guys have seen Watchmen or read the graphic novel, what did you guys think of it? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know. Also, if you really enjoy my channel, please subscribe, hit that like button, and turn on the notifications. This is James Hernandez, just by saying, thanks for watching.